That's amazing. Um, yes, and Belgium's won. So it's always like the United Americas vs the Belgian being the gold and silver medal since 2020.
Australia got the silver. They ran us down during the night. We
Oh, that's right. That's right.
it was warm here the first day and it was hot here the second day and then the third day was brutal.
Mm,
And
mm,
so we ended up ending our last runner was gone at 88
mm, mm,
and there were a lot of teams still moving. The Belgians were still moving and the Australians once you stop if the team behind you is in reach, you're
mhm.
dead meat because now they know where you are, they're going to come and get you.
Yeah, yeah. Like, if you want to have the gold, silver, or the bronze, at least your team needs to do at least 50 yards. 15 people needs to do like 50 yards, I guess. No.
Yeah, we had a 30 and a 39 and that put us after the first three runners are out, we were end up 35 yards behind their first three to go out. And
Mm,
we closed it up to 33 at one point, but then we started losing ground because we just couldn't keep it up in the heat.
mm, mm, mm.
Belgium, they just set a new standard. The previous years, you needed some runners to run well,
Mhm.
and that could make the difference. But now everybody has to run well. Somebody has to run exceptional.
Yes, losing your man such an early stage is very critical with this level at the moment. Yeah, yeah, that's very true.
So when we contact the team members next time, we'll be telling them, if you can't come and put up a big total, you need to decline. Because if you're just going to come for just for the fun of it, your team is dead.
Yes, exactly. Um, your man needs to be in very good condition. Some of our men did a very long run a week before this satellite event. So yeah, my thought is the same as well because if you want to be in the national team, you better commit that you're going to do at least 48 hours or, or or don't just come to have the fun of it because there's number 16, number 17, number 18. We have strong men there. So just make sure you're
Yeah.
in a very good condition that you're going to do your best.
Someone who wants to come and perform.
Exactly. Yes. So
But
let me check if go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. Okay, let me check if the sound is okay in our studio. Okay, so it seems the sound has been fixed. So our conversation is now live on YouTube. So all the people on the global are now watching us talking about the backyard ultra.
yeah, I need to locate the sheets that you had before where that it showed all the different races with the times
Mhm.
or the distances as they go along so I can see the follow along. How many different prefectures are running this year?
Mm. This year we are having six, which is Hokkaido, the northeast prefecture, Hokkaido, and then it comes to Fukushima, then it comes to Niigata, and then comes to Tokyo, where I am, and then comes to Kyoto, and then goes down to Shimane. So these are the six prefectures that we're running this year. It used to be seven last year, but we reduced to six. But still, my goal is to have 47 prefectures. We have like 47 states in Japan. So we want to have these 47 compete at the same day, same time, just like the satellite event.
Yeah, I was going to say, will it be a prefecture championship? That could get some blood flowing.
Yes, um, because we are pretty, uh, how do I say, we like our state. We like to represent our state. So people who are in that state would be very grateful to be representing their prefecture and then competing against the rest of the prefectures to become the Japanese champion.
Uh, Tell me this: is Tokyo the best prefecture?
I think so. I think so because that's where I am. But I grew up in Nagano where they have lots of mountains and skis, very famous. We had the Olympics in 1998 in Nagano. That's where I was born, so I like Nagano as well as Tokyo, where I live right now. Laz, have you always been in Tennessee, or were you grown in somewhere else?
No, when I was a child, we moved all over the country,
Mm.
and I've lived. Tennessee is the easternmost I've lived, but I lived all the way to the west coast in Washington when I was little.
Oh, really? You were in Washington State?
Washington State, Texas, Oklahoma.
Hmm.
My family is from Northeast Oklahoma,
Wow.
and except I don't think there's any of them left there anymore. I have one aunt, and that's about it. I,
So you have one aunt?
that I know. I know there's a lot of people there related to me
Mm,
on one side of the family or the other, but they're not close relatives.
mm, mm,
I ran into last summer I walked from Delaware to Oklahoma to where
mhm.
my family's from, and I met a truck driver who knew members of my mother's family that I don't know. It doesn't take
Wow.
very long for the people you're related to be spread out.
Mhm.
Family trees branch really fast.
Yes, they do. Okay, so since most of the people watching this YouTube live in Japan are Japanese, so I'm going to give you some questions. And then once you answer the questions, I'm going to translate that into Japanese, and then we'll kind of move forward. So, um, yeah, so I'll start. I'll start to give you some questions. So, how did you come up with the backyard?
The original idea was when I was in high school running track and cross country
Mm,
because it would be a race that uh, fit my strengths as an
mm.
athlete. I'll make short answers so you can translate and it doesn't get complicated.
まず、ラズにバックヤードを何で始めたんですかっていう質問に対して、ラズは思いついたのが学生の、ラズはもともとトラックフィールドの選手だったそうなんですけど、その時に思いついたそうです。OK?
So that idea just was in the back of my head until we moved here to the farm,
うん。
and I wanted to make a race that we could do with limited space and limited resources.
うん。
And then I remembered it and worked it out.
なんか、ラズは、もう学生の頃に、クロスカントリーやってた時に、そもそもバックヤードであれば、ラズが 勝てるレースはどうやったら作れるっていうことをまず考えたときに、短い距離だったら勝てると。で、あとは短いレースであれば、小さなスペースでできるってことだったので、小さなスペースでできると。で、それがずっと学生の頃から頭の片隅にあって、ラズが成長して今になって、まあ、開催された、もう10年ぐらい前に初めて開催されたんですけど、その時に、このテネシーに引っ越して今の年になった時に、ふと学生の頃に思い出して、よし、やってみようということで始めたそうです。Yes, go ahead.
So your Japanese is really excellent. You must practice all the time.
ラズが今、お前日本語うまいな、いつも練習してるんだろうと、ちょっとアメリカンジョークを言ってました。Yeah, I practice every day. So,
That that's just a lot of dedication.
practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect.
うん、
But it's the God more than the 50 years or so in between was important because I learned all of the details to with the basic idea to make it work.
うん、で、まあ、その当時、学生の頃は、なんか、まあ、短いレースから勝ちたいと。ただ、その、50年も経ってから、それが今の形になった、その間の50年間っていうのはすごく、プロセスはとても大事で、その間にやっぱウルトラランニング好きになったし、ウルトラランニングの辛さも楽しさも理解して、それでこのルールに至ったということですね。OK?
And that's pretty much the answer.
うん、うん、うん。Yeah, it's man, you're a genius. It
uh,
it's not too fast, it's not too slow. 100 miles in 24 hours. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
and it's that's what I needed a lifetime of doing running and events and working events and seeing what humans could do to find here's the sweet spot. You can do it for a long, long time, but you can't do it forever. If it was longer, it would not last as long. And if it was too much shorter, then it would never end.
うん。やっぱこのスイートスポットがとても大事で、で、難しすぎないし、でも簡単ではないしっていうところがとてもやっぱり重要なんだ、ことを言ってましたね。It's just like the Barclay Marathon as well. It's just the limit of a human can achieve or not, that kind of sweet spot. うん、
That's what that's that's what I like to strive for because the bigger the challenge, the more satisfaction that there is to meet it.
やっぱり過酷だったりチャレンジングなほど、やっぱり達成感もあるし、そういったところがやっぱりラズは好きということですね。Okay, thank you, Laz. Um, different question. So when did you, this is, if you look up in the internet, people can know, but when did you start the backyard? Which year?
I think it was 2011.
2011。2011年に初めてバックヤードを開催しました。And do you remember what the result? Was it Joe Vegetas who won that race?
No, it was Tim.
Tim.
Tim, I don't know. I just saw his name a little while ago.
うん、
It was a guy named Tim from Washington State, and the first one was only 16 hours.
What did you think about that result? 16
Uh,
hours at that time.
Well, we were disappointed what we did. The entire race was on the trail,
うん、うん、
and I when it got dark, people couldn't see well enough to finish in time, so that most of the people struggled and didn't finish because they ran out of time. So the next year we switched it to having it during the night. We made a road loop so that people would the object all along was people would be able to do it until their mind gave up.
Ah, I see.
You don't want them to physically give up. You want them to have to mentally quit.
うん。まず、初年度の記録が16時間だったそうです。それが、ティムっていう方が出した記録で、なぜ16時間、ちょっと残念だったのが、全部、その当時は今、ビックスは昼間はトレイル、夜はロードなんですけど、全部日中も夜もトレイルのコースで、夜になるとみんながロストしちゃったりとか、道が分かんなくなってしまって、1時間を超えて帰ってきたので、記録が16時間だったので、その翌年から夜はロードのコースを追加して、で、その人間がそのフィジカル的に、な挑戦だけではなく、やっぱりメンタル的にも挑戦しがたいがある、大会にしたかったので、そういった今のビックスみたいなコースになったということですね。Okay, thank you. And how do you see the result improving year by year since 2011? How do you feel about that?
You know, we I didn't really know how far people would be able to go.
Mm,
The second year when it went till everyone gave up was 27 hours.
wow.
And I thought, well, it can go longer than this.
Mm,
But we also thought this is a really hard way to run 100 miles.
mm,
No, because now last year you have about 1,000 people a year do a 24-hour 100 in
mhm,
all different races around the world.
mhm,
In the backyards, it was 2,500 people.
mhm,
And this year, starting August the 16th, I don't even have all the results in, and it's getting close to 1,000 people.
mhm,
So, and then when we looked at the bigs last year,
mm,
the 2023 race,
mhm,
they ran so much further than people normally run in multi-day races.
mm.
I think we have stumbled across almost a perfect way to do extreme distance.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna translate from here. それで、まあ、ラズに対して、まあ、年々、記録がどんどん更新されることに対してどう思ったかっていうことだったんですけど、その2011年に最初開催して16周しかできなくて、で、コースを変えて、2012年に27時間っていう記録でした。それもなんかちょっと残念でした。なぜなら、世の中には他のウルトラランニングのレースもやっぱり27時間かけて100マイル以上走るっていう実績もあるし、なぜ記録がそんなに出なかったのかっていう思いだったんですけど、まあ、あれから数年経って、もう、2023年、去年のビッグスに関しては、ものすごい記録が出ました。108周っていう記録が出ました。で、今年に関しては、ワールドチャンピオンシップで110周っていう記録が出たんですけど、その記録っていうのが、いろんなウルトラが世の中にあるんですけども、その時間で遠くに走れる最長距離がバックヤードで出たと。だからいろんなウルトラが世の中にはあるんですけど、この時間で、まあ、例えば110時間で走れる最長距離がバックヤードが生み出したってことは、この人間のウルトラをやっていく上で、一番絞り出せるというか、限界を絞り出せる競技になったんじゃないかということを言ってました。Thank you. Our Japanese takes twice more speaking than English.
Uh,
Sorry about
the
that.
the French take the least of all because they keep all of the letters in their words are silent.
Oh, really?
They if yeah, if you look at the French, the word will be this long, and they only say half the letters. You know, and English has some silent letters.
Um, for example, for example.
Um, the word fine,
For fun.
Fine, the E is silent.
Oh, yeah, fine.
And hour, Hour, the H is silent.
ああ、はいはいはいはいはい。
But
That's interesting.
when I went to Scandinavia, you probably don't want to translate this, but when I went to Scandinavia
Mhm,
and the language, they have a lot of English came from Scandinavian languages.
mhm.
And there I found they say the letters that are silent.
Huh.
It was like, oh, that's where they came from. Because you wonder, why would they put a letter in a word that doesn't make a sound?
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
'Because the original word, it made a sound.
uh-huh. 今これちょっと通訳に僕が英語のラズの話してるもの以上に2倍かかっちゃってすいませんっていう話をして、ちょっと英語には文字があるんだけど、その文字を発音しないものがあるから、まあしょうがないよみたいな、そんなちょっと話してました。Okay, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna change to a simple question. What is your favorite food, Laz?
Something new.
Something new.
I, I'm a meat eater,
Mhm, mhm,
but I like to try new food.
mm.
Uh, you
What's the
know,
weirdest food you tried recently?
uh, probably pad ki mao, Thai food.
Did you go to that restaurant we went together?
Yes.
Oh,
See, I like Thai food, but I
mhm,
always got it with rice.
mhm,
And then one day I thought I tried rice noodles.
mhm,
So I got the pad see ew with the rice noodles.
mhm.
And oh, the rice noodles are really good.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm trying all the different foods with rice noodles.
Mhm. Did you make it hot?
Yeah. Actually, they have two cooks,
Mhm,
and one of the cooks makes the five is their hottest. One
mhm,
of the cooks, it's American five,
mhm.
and the other cook, it's Thai five.
High five.
So when I get the meal and I get five, and then it's a surprise. I don't know, will it? The American five is really hot,
Mhm.
but the Thai five will light you.
今、ラズに食べ物は何が好きですかっていう質問をしたら、基本的に新しいものが好きと。で、新しいもの好きだったら、じゃあ最近新しいもの何食べましたかって言ったら、タイのwas it マイキー ?What was the name of the food?
Pad ki mao.
パッキマオ。パッキマオっていう、タイ料理を食べたそうです。基本的には
That's
タイの、ライスヌードルだから米でできた麺ですよね。麺でできたもので、食べて美味しくて、で、タイのヌードルは食べるのが今回初めてだったんですけど、とても美味しくて、で、また今度は別の味のものも挑戦していきたいと。で、ラズはとてもホットな、辛いものが好きで、そこのレストラン僕も一緒にラズと食べたことあるんですけど、そこに行った時に、アメリカ人のシェフとタイのシェフがいて、アメリカ人に、5段階中の5の辛いやつっていうと、まあまあ辛いやつが来て、そのタイの人が作るやつはめちゃくちゃ辛いやつが来るっていう、そんな話してました。OK, thank you. うん、
so in Japan,
うん、
there's food that I've not had before. I'm sure you
うん。
have unique Japanese food.
Yes.
Is it spicy?
Ours is not spicy as other countries. Yeah, we can make it spicy, but maybe different spicy. So, have you tried wasabi?
Oh, I love wasabi.
Oh, okay. We have that spicy. Yeah, a little bit different from like Thai food or Indian food. Hot. It's a
Yeah.
different yeah, kind of hot. But we have wasabi. Yes, like
It's a
real
it's
or nothing.
hot in your nose.
Yeah. Mm.
And I like that hot also.
Oh, really?
The French food is not very spicy.
Oh, really?
They have a lot of flavors, but
Uh-huh.
they don't like it hot.
Oh,
It's we're still really good.
good.
France has a reputation for food and that reputation is deserved.
ああ、うん。ラズは、日本は辛いもんあるかという質問に対して、そうですね。あんまりタイとかインドっぽい、ああいう辛さはないけど、韓国みたいなああいう辛さはないけど、わさびみたいな辛さはあるって言ったら、まあ、わさびは大好きだと。ちょっとまた、今度会うときにわさび持っていきたいと思います。So next time I see you, I'll bring you some fresh wasabi so you can enjoy.
When you get sushi
Mhm.
and then you get the wasabi that they serve here is mostly, I know it's horseradish painted green.
Yes.
So I'm not sure I've ever had real wasabi, but it's close.
Mhm, mhm,
And
mhm.
so you get wasabi and you get a little of their wasabi and you get the fish and you or the yeah, the sushi. You
Mhm,
eat the sushi and then there's a little wasabi left.
mhm,
So you go get more sushi, sushi,
mhm.
and then you run out of wasabi. So you get more wasabi, and then you eat the fish and you have wasabi left. So finally, in order for this to end, you just take all the wasabi that's left and put it on one sushi and eat it. And for just a moment, your heart stops.
まあ、ラズが日本食行くときは、まあ、わさびが好きで、お寿司も好きで、お寿司好きって珍しいですね。で、まあ、お寿司にわさびをつけて、それで食べてと。で、今度わさびがなくなったらお寿司を頼まなきゃいけないから、お寿司を頼んで、またお寿司がなくなったらわさびも頼まなきゃいけないっていう、このエンドレスなことがずっと続くので、最後はわさびを全部お寿司の上に乗っけたら、もう一瞬心臓は止まるようになるんだけど、それが楽しいということで言ってました。はい。Okay. What do you like to drink other than Dr. Pepper?
Ah, Moxie.
What is it?
It's a soda.
Oh,
It's a soda that they only make in Maine. You can only get it in Maine.
me. It's called
So
Max.
Moxie,
Moxie.
yeah,
Mm, no. What does it taste like Dr. Pepper or like root beer or that kind of taste? Or what is it
like medicine.
like? You need medicine because you're cold.
It's different than anything, but I
Mm,
only
mhm,
rarely get Moxie,
mm.
and that's just an old box that I don't have the heart to throw away. And when I get it, I'll only allow myself one every once in a while, just
Especially yeah. Mm.
a special treat.
ラズに、ドクターペッパー以外に何が好きですかって聞いたところ、ミクシーっていうアメリカのメイン州ってところですね。で作られてる、どこでしか買えないものがあって、それはもう特別な時にしか買わなくて、特別な時にしか飲まないということで、味はどんな味かって聞いたら、なんか薬みたいな味するということでした。はい、なので、まあ、老人は年寄りなんで、まあ、薬大事だねっていう話しました。はい。Ah,
And
next huh? Go ahead.
also moonshine.
Moonshine. That
Surely, so there is something in Japan similar to moonshine,
yes, yes.
which tastes like rubbing alcohol.
Mhm. Do you enjoy moonshine sometime? No.
A little bit now and then, not as much anymore.
Mm-mm.
It warms you from the inside out.
We have a typical kind of sake, Japanese sake, that is like moonshine. Like I remember moonshine is something like people used to make because of the law. They made it in hidden places. That's why they made it during the moonshine at night, so that they basically was that breaking the law to make moonshine?
Yes.
Okay, okay, yeah. We have something similar in Japan as well. Not breaking the law, but yeah, something very similar. It's called dobroku. Again, in Japan as well, we need license to make alcohol, and some people used to make um, like something like moonshine to drink for their own. Mhm. Um, what do you think about Japan as ultra running? Do you think ultra running suits Japanese nationality?
I think it suits the Japanese athletes well, the mindset.
Mm,
I am not surprised that Japan has been so strong in the backyard because I think, but you see, each nationality has a different character, and there's
mm,
many nations that it applies, and they get to the same place from different directions,
mhm.
and it's. But I never expected the Belgians to be as good as they are.
Do you have an idea why Belgians are good? Is it their personality, or is it their mental, or is it their course that's very runnable, or do they use escalators during backyards, or what is it all about?
Success breeds success. They had, um, I, they just had the right combination of people in the first team championship. And because everything is on the internet, and especially in 2020, there were so many sports not being held.
Mm,
And when Belgium was ahead late in the race and it became obvious they'd win, all the Belgians were really excited.
mm,
And it would be like if Team Japan won and everyone in Japan was listening, you would have the next year's prefecture championships would look like the world satellite championships
mm.
because more of the people who could do it would want to try.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
So now they have pride in the
Mhm,
backyard. They're going to be hard to knock off.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, looking at the Belgium's start finish line, they're like the tents were like huge, and they had huge screens. So I was thinking the country must be moving with governments involved to make this so huge in Belgium that people are getting attention to it. Yes.
Yeah, in Bell Buckle we had cows watching us.
So I'm going to translate this into Japanese. So まずラズに日本の国民性っていうのはウルトラランニングに合ってますかっていう質問に対して、とてもやっぱり日本っていうのはウルトラランニング大国で、とても強い、なんかこの国民性にも合ってるんじゃないかというふうに思っています。で、いろいろといろんな国の国民性があるんですけども、ベルギーの今年優勝した話になったんですけど、ベルギーがなんで優勝したのかって聞いたら、やっぱりベルギーはこのワールドチャンピオンシップをやった2020年、22年、2024年ともう3回やってるんですけど、2回優勝してます。で、1回2位です。で、2020年にコロナで何もこう世の中でできなかった時にベルギーが優勝したことが、やっぱりそのウルトラランナーだけじゃなくて、やっぱニュースにもなったらしくて、それでやっぱりそのバックヤードをベルギーが強いんだっていうことが、国民的にも認知され、そして、今、その2020年にいた強い選手も、やっぱりその経験値が上回って強くなってるっていうのもあるし、その国民 に響き渡って、それで僕もやりたい、私もやりたいっていう人が出てきて、どんどんどんどんそのレベルの底上げをしていたっていうのが、このベルギーの強さなんじゃないか。逆に日本が優勝して金メダル取って、これがニュースになったとしたら、もっともっとバックヤードやりたいっていう人が増えて、日本全国で増えて、そうするとやっぱり人数の多い、パイのスポーツになってくれば、もちろんレベルは上がるよねっていう話をしました。Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. うん。Um, what do you think about backyard being an Olympic sport? Have you ever thought about that?
No, I've always thought the Olympics would never do it because the marathon is that's their showpiece.
うん。
I don't think they would want a race that was longer,
うん。うん。うん。うん。
but I I'm amazed every year that more and more places people do backyards.
うん。うん。Do you know at the top of the head how many backyard there is in all over the world right now?
I don't actually know because a lot of the backyards are not affiliated with Big's backyard.
うん。
There is it's between 5 and 600
うん。
that are affiliated with Big's, and then there are probably at least an equal number that people just hold their backyards themselves because if you're not going to go a whole lot of yards, you don't need to be affiliated.
うん。うん。今、ラズにバックヤードがオリンピックスポーツになったらどうかって、まあ、それはね、もうすごく、うん、ね、そんなことになったらっていうことは思うんだけど、やっぱりオリンピックのやっぱり長距離の、あのマラソンっていうのがね、あるから、それ以上ならないんじゃないかですね。あとはバックヤードが世界中で今何個あるかって聞いたら、ビックスとこのバックヤードのラズがやってる、傘下でやってる、ちゃんと登録してっていうのは5、600だそうです。で、その傘下で、まあ、勝手にやってるっていうものも同じぐらいあるんじゃないかなということだったので、1000から1200ぐらい全部であるんじゃないかなということでした。うんうん。Okay. What what did you think about the 110 yards? What do you think in the future, the kind of the most yards in the future? What do you have?
I feel confident that they will get 600 miles in 6 days.
6日間、6 days.
If you think to the next round number beyond that, you think, is 1,000 miles possible someday? I don't know, but the record has been progressing linear,
うん。
but it has begun increasing by smaller amounts.
うん。
So I I I know we've not gotten to what's possible yet.
でバックヤードの最高記録ってどのぐらい伸びるかっていうのは、なんか想定してますかっていうことを言ってたんですけど、まあ、600マイルなので6日間で、144時間なので、600マイルで 6.7× 144ってことは964キロとぐらい行くんじゃないかということなんですけど、まあでも、もしかしたらそれ以上行くかもしれない。要は、6日間じゃなくて10日間行くかもしれないっていうことは言ってましたね。なので、本当に、そういうことでした。うん。When are you coming to Japan, Laz? Would you like to come?
Uh, that I couldn't tell you, but a trip to Japan, there's lots of things I could know that I had real wasabi. I could have real sushi
Uh-huh.
because you see, there is no American food.
うん。
There may be the hamburger,
うん。
but I think that wasn't invented in America either.
うん。
So we have American Chinese we have Chinese food the way it's made in America.
Mm,
We have
mm,
Mexican food the way it's made in America. And I'm sure that we have American style sushi, just like with the Thai food. There's a Thai five and an American five. So to have genuine food, have lots of questions. The Japanese alphabet.
mhm,
Some of the characters represent words.
mhm.
Are some of them also sounds?
Exactly.
Because no one can learn a character for every word.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So
We have so many of them, and we used to write instead of type, like using computers. So when we wrote, we kind of remember all the words, not all, but most of the words. But nowadays, the computer does all the work. So I'm really bad with it. So the word that stands with a word is called kanji. I'm not really good with kanji anymore because I'm using computers now, which does the work for me.
yeah, but it would be so slow to make all the different marks.
Hmm, hmm.
Uh, the purely phonetic alphabet is more convenient, although you have to remember precisely how words are spelled,
Hmm.
even though that you different letter combinations would give you the same thing. So you have the alphabets where characters are words and the phonetic alphabet, and then the Hungarians, they understand the written language, but if you've seen Hungarian names,
Hmm.
they apparently don't know the letters are supposed to have unique sounds.
Hmm.
So you can't pronounce any Hungarian name by reading it, not even close.
I didn't know that.
Watch for it in your travels, and you'll see if you meet a Hungarian and you see his name in writing and ask how to pronounce it, and then you'll say, "What? This?" They don't even pronounce the letters in the same order that they're in the word.
I'll watch out and see. 乗らずに、日本に作るのって言ったら、ぜひ行ってみたいっていうことで、やっぱり、日本食も好きなんですけど、アメリカで食べる日本食とかは、やっぱりアメリカ流の日本食だと思うし、本物のわさびが食べたい。なので、本物のわさび食べさせてあげたいですね。はい、あとは日本の、ひらがなとかカタカナとか漢字とか、そういったものにも興味あるということですね。うん。Okay, thank you. So our next question is, oh, by the way, people call me Japanese Laz in America. When I go to America, people call me Japanese Laz. And do you know that people in Japan call you American Tomo?
That was an assumption that I had all along because I've imitated your style. I wear the plaid jacket and the sock hat.
今、ラズに、僕がアメリカ行くと、僕はジャパニーズラズって言われてるんだけど、ラズは日本ではアメリカン友って言われてるのを知ってるっていうことを言ってたら、まあ大体想像はしてたということですね。はい。
But if I come to Japan, will everyone be wearing sock hats and flannel shirts?
No. Okay. My last question is, who is your hero?
I guess I have lots of heroes, but not one particular person.
Mm.
It it goes from time to time.
Mm.
It's I mean, there are so many people that do things that you admire.
Mm.
The every time someone finishes at the Barkley, uh, the and not even just in sports, but
Mhm.
just in general life. People who do good things are my heroes.
Mm. Okay, thank you. Um, 今、ラズのヒーローは誰ですかって聞いたら、もう本当にいろんな場面、もうスポーツだけじゃなくて、いろんな場面でいるので、もう、この人って答えられない。まあ、もちろんバークレーでもいますし、人生のヒーローでもいるし、っていうことですね。I remember you're my hero, Laz, because I remember when I went to the Barkley Marathons in 2000. My first year was 2018. I did one loop, but I did it over the cutoff time. I came back to camp with Byron Becker, if you remember Byron, and
Yeah. Oh, I'll never forget Byron.
yeah, and it was pouring with rain, and I spent with him in a cave at Indian Knob. We couldn't find a book, and it was pouring with rain. And we were so cold. We found a little cave that could fit like two or three men, and we were there until the rain was gonna stop. And we knew the time cutoff was over, but we kind of helped each other to find to the last book. And at that year, when I came back to camp, and when no one finished that year, and you were kind of tidying up the camp, and I tried to help you, and you said that you were going to go for the the West Coast, East Coast to West Coast challenge. You said that you were gonna do it, run, and you said to me that if it was me like in the 20s or 30s, this challenge would be very easy to accomplish. But look at me right now with this belly, with this bad knee, with this stick. I'm gonna. This will be my biggest challenge that I will achieve in my career. That was at that moment. I still remember and thought that okay, you don't need to be when you get old you always think about the younger ages that you were running fast and you you're fast and you did long goals, but you reminded me that even though you get old or you get your performance gets down, you can always have your own challenge that that is the most difficult thing that you have ever achieved. And that kind of reminded me that anything is no limits, unlimited. That there's you can always have your super goal, and that just kind of changed my thought that day. So thank you very much for teaching me that, Les.
I appreciate that. I think it is something people forget that you get old. It isn't what you can't do. It's, you know, the next thing you can do. You need to have a goal. And you realize people in America, they have the bucket list
Hmm.
and they say they want to do all these things. And they'll say, well, I hope I get them all done.
Hmm.
And I said, no, that would be terrible. You always want to have something else you want to do.
Hmm.
And that means that when the end comes, there'll still be things you didn't finish.
Hmm. Thank you. 今、ラズに、さっきのあなたのヒーローの追加で、僕のヒーローはラズですと。で、以前にバークレー完走できなくて、日本帰る前に、ラズがそのレースの、後片付けをしているときに、した会話で、ラズが、その時は西海岸から東海岸に行く6000キロの挑戦をしようとしたときに、ラズは僕に言ったことが、見てみろと。俺はこんなに年取って、お腹も出て、足も悪いし、こんなことは20歳とか30の頃にだったら、楽勝にできた。ただ、今こういう状態でやるこのチャレンジが自分の人生の中で一番のチャレンジを今やろうとしてるんだっていうことを僕は聞いて、なるほどな。年取るとやっぱり昔よりも足も遅くなるし、 できることも少なくなるけど、でもそれなりのその年でやれること、挑戦できることあるんだっていうことを教えてもらった日だったんですね。で、それをちょっとラズに感謝したところです。で、ラズはやっぱりずっと何歳になっても挑戦するものをなくなるんじゃなくて見つけるんだということを言ってました。ので、まあ、よくみんなにこう一生かけてこういうことをやりたいっていう、で全部その目標がなくなればいいと思うんだけど、ラズの場合は目標がなくなるんじゃなくて、死ぬ時になっても、その目標っていうのが消化しきれないほど、やっぱり挑戦したいものっていうのを常に見つめて生きていきたいっていうことを言ってましたね。OK。That's thank you very much. Sorry, one last thing. Can you please say message to the guys watching this YouTube channel in Japan? And do you have anything to say to the ultra runners in Japan?
I look forward to seeing you in at Biggs one of these Octobers
Mm,
because the backyard is something that anyone can win,
mm,
and that's that's it's a big goal, but people should set big goals and then make them happen.
うんうん。夏に最後、このチャンネルを見てるウルトラランナーに一言っていうことで、そこに、この YouTube ライブ見てる、座ってるあなたが来年、ビックスに出る可能性がありますと。このバックヤードは誰にでもできることです。なので、あのどなたになるかわからないですけど、日本の国民、日本人を僕の裏庭で見かけることを楽しみにしてます。それがあなたかもしれないですね。ありがとうございます。Laz, ありがとうございます。Thank you in Japanese. ありがと
Oh, I won't try my Japanese because I practice every day. It was an honor to get to speak to you, and I look forward to one day visiting Japan and one day giving the golden coin at the end of the world championship to a Japanese runner.
Yes, yes. We'll make that happen. Please live long. That's that you need to promise me that you need to live long, at least for 2 years, because the world championship is in 2 years.
I just see I can't die because there's always something else I can't wait to see.
Mm,
The the next the next individual championship, the last one was so incredible. And this one's going to be even more amazing. I have to be here to see it.
mhm. Yes. Thank you very much, Laz. Um, I know it's midnight, almost 1 o'clock your time. So thank you very much. And I will send you the YouTube live link that we talked, and I will send you the results. So please enjoy what's going to happen for a couple of hours in Japan.
The site that has all the distances. I can't remember. Looks like a score sheet.
Mhm,
This is my Barkley watch.
mhm.
The alarm goes off at 1 every morning. I don't know how it works. So it just goes off and then well, it's only once a day.
I am very jealous that your Barclay watch is working till now because my Barclay watch, after 5 hours, the battery died.
Oh, this one's going on forever.
Okay.
Oh, I better let you go and get back to your duties. You
Yes,
have bells to ring and whistles to blow.
exactly.
Tell all the runners to run far and run strong.
I will do that. Thank you very much, Laz.
I don't, am I supposed to turn this off or?
There's a phone, like a red button that you can and that will turn you off.
The society has not yet figured out the proper um, formality for ending online conversations. So you have a meeting on the online, and you get to the end, and you did not learn growing up how to properly end it.
Okay.
Don't say bye.
Bye. That's